Let me also welcome on board Amar Singh, who is the Senior Vice President Research at Angel One, joining us on the show. Very good afternoon, Amar, and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, what do you make of the markets? Because for today, we are in the red, but India VIX actually is not giving us those really not so great signals. This index is actually down while we speak right now. So, give us some sense. What are you really penciling in with respect to the index?
See, if you look at the index has witnessed a significant rally. If you look at from almost 22,000 levels to touching 25,000, so I would say that this was a correction which was definitely on the cards, and also what we witnessed was some profit booking also coming in. And if you look at from the data triggers, I would say there's not much on the negative side though. But if you look at from a technical perspective, there's definitely a loss of momentum, and more so on the banking side, except the private sector banks like HDFC and ICICI, which continue to be very strong on the long-term charts. So what it effectively means is that both the indices, be it Nifty or Bank Nifty, we are likely to witness some consolidation so for Nifty, very crucial support is somewhere around the 24,400, 500 zone. So that's an important support zone, whereas on the resistance is 25,000 level. So it's more of a consolidation and range play. Bank Nifty, on the other hand, we are seeing very strong support around the 54,300 to 400 zone, whereas 55,300, 400 zone is a zone of resistance. Because technically, it's very clear that on the short-term charts, it has been there for quite many days now, at least I would say 8 to 10 trading sessions, that the momentum which was earlier there, that's no longer there. So we are likely to witness some sort of consolidation. Also, what I would like to add here is that the intermediate term trend still continues to be very strong and positive. So that's the reason, even if there's a correction, we could witness a pullback. But on the long-term charts, we are seeing some patterns that could indicate that higher levels will be sold into right now.
All right, so that's the take on the benchmark indices. But with this, viewers, it's now time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. As of now, the markets are inching higher. A mild recovery from the day's lowest point, but indeed a sharp one. So stay tuned for more. We'll be back just after this quick break. Welcome back to Closing Trades right here on ET Now, and the markets are witnessing a mild recovery from the day's lowest point, but indeed a sharp one, because for now Nifty has recovered from its day's lowest point, now trying to knock the doors of 24,600 as well, while for Nifty Bank as well, it's almost been more than 200 points of recovery from the day's lowest point, just holding on to the cuts of 200 points. Some of these stocks like Hero MotoCorp, Ultratech, BEL, and even Bajaj Auto, they actually have added themselves into the list of Nifty 50 gainers as we speak right now. But other than that, one of the counters that is doing very well today is indeed Fortis Healthcare, because what we get to see is that the company's earnings have been really great, but the management has actually gone ahead and guided for a double-digit growth in FY26, with the margin recovering to 23% levels. A lot of these brokerages have gone ahead too and raised the target price. Case in point being Elara, they are now targeting 749 rupees on this counter, and the stock is very near to that itself. But Akshay, how do you see the stock on the technical front? Because what I believe is that the stock is very close to its all-time high levels. Give us some sense. Where do you see the stock headed from here on?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. The stock is nearing or almost tested its all-time high levels. I think way back in January 2025, we had this levels of around 743 being tested. And from there, we had a significant correction all the way down till 600. So yes, this resistance does have importance. At least if you are trying to time the stock or trying to take profits for today or tomorrow, the 740, 745 zone comes into play. That is where you can expect some bit of resilience or profit booking. But broadly, if you were to buy and hold with minimum 15-20 day perspective, the broader technical setup is still positive, and eventually maybe it holds today, tomorrow, but later on, eventually the breakout is in the making, post which positional traders or medium term holders can expect targets till 800.
Fortis.
In the meantime, exchanges may soon have to align their weekly expiry days for derivatives trading, as SEBI is all set to issue the final circular, as we understand, to ensure orderly trading and reduce volatility. Now, the case in point so far, of course, is going to be BSE. Look at the way the stock price has been and the kind of valuation that it ascribes right now. But the fact that SEBI may actually give a nod to NSE to launch Tuesday as its expiry, or at least that is what the reports seem to be indicating, that's not really augured well for the sentiment on BSE right now. Sandeep, how are you looking at this entire confusion about when expiry is going to be and which exchange is going to get what date and how it's going to impact BSE and NSE both?
Yeah, so I think there's too much going on. So it's very difficult to have a conclusive view till SEBI comes out with the guidance. But obviously, if there is going to be a common day for both the exchanges, then obviously BSE seeks to lose a lot. So I think let's wait for the final things to come out, because as it is, the derivative volumes have fallen significantly post the restrictions which were imposed earlier. And this could further potentially hurt BSE. But like I said, we need to wait for the actual guidelines.
Now, of course, BSE is pegged back a little bit. It's down about almost 4% as we speak. But Sandeep, good to have you on the show. We'll let you go on that note, but we're just getting news that IndusInd Bank's promoter group, that's IIHL, has expressed trust in bank's chairman and board, with Ashok Hinduja saying that swift actions will reinstate customer confidence. In fact, Ankur Mishra, my colleague, is here with more on what Mr. Hinduja has to say a day after the earnings.
Yes, a day after the earnings, a vote of confidence coming in favor of bank's chairman and the board from Ashok P. Hinduja. He mentioned that swift actions by board will rebuild trust and enhance transparency. In fact, he calls a start with new dawn for IndusInd Bank with a sanitized slate. Remember, the bank had already declared that there is a fraud that has happened to bank and on which the bank will take action. The action can be investigative agencies probing the same. The action can be regulator taking some more action on the bank. We also reached out to regulator for finding out what Reserve Bank of India could be doing on the IndusInd Bank issue. But we have been told through sources that the regulator has been keeping a close eye on the situation. In fact, a committee was already formed to run the operation, and a basic question which remains for the bank is who will be the next CEO of the bank. We understand that the process has already started and the names will be finalized by June 30. For now, the bank is running show with Sunil Mehta, who is the chairman of the bank, and Ashok Hinduja clearly backing the chairman and the board after a bank has declared earnings.
Right, okay, that's that on IndusInd Bank and the commentary that we're currently seeing from Ashok Hinduja coming in on IndusInd Bank, saying swift actions by the board will rebuild trust. Management's swift action is going to enhance transparency. Coordinated efforts from the management kept the bank's business healthy. And what they have witnessed, saying that they're seeing a new dawn for IndusInd Bank with a sanitized slate. He's also lauded RBI's orderly stance in addressing issues at the bank and committed to support with equity infusion if that would be the need. IndusInd Bank has recovered a fair bit, got a little wobbly just off late, flattened out as the market also dipped, and now again it's on its way to recovery. 785 is where that stock is right now.